Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy, Ruther, and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Los Angeles, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Good morning, Andy.
What's going on, man?
Oh, you know, another Monday here in paradise.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got a little fall sesh going on here in the Natty.
Little fall sesh.
Little gloomy, mid-50s.
Gotta rake some leaves today.
Leaves are out. No, I'm gonna wait to the end, blow them in the corner,
Okay.
and just dump them in the woods.
Is that the move?
Oh, hell yeah.
You have woods? You have woods there?
Small woods in my backyard. Perfect to just dump leaves.
I remember that, yeah.
I think technically I'm not supposed to.
Yeah. My sister got a dumpster when I was home in New York, and they were like throwing shit out. And you know, they're like doing a whole like house cleaning situation. I'm like throwing it, and I was like, what else should I put in? She's like, throw that old firewood. I don't need that. I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I go, throw it. I was like, I hate to go full Happy Gilmore here, but it's made of wood. Throw it back in the woods. I was returning it to its home. You know, it's like, why are we throwing firewood in a dumpster? Throw it, roll it into the woods. You live in a forest.
I think technically
all that yard waste. I was like, yard waste is just return it to whence it came.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe HOA, put the HOA can kiss my ass. I think I'm gonna run eventually. I decided.
I think you need a T-shirt that says the HOA can kiss my ass. That's some real. You could move those to fucking Midwest dads everywhere.
Well, yeah, they don't care about the single family homes where I live. It's all about the condos and townhouses. So, am I showing up to the next board meeting in November with a list and going full Karen? Yeah, damn right I am. I pay HOA fees. Start taking care of us. Fix my goddamn light outside on the street.
Single family lives matter.
Look, this is the things I put some energy into.
It's remarkable. We could not live more different lives at this point. Remember when we were just like blocks away from each other in Venice? It's just like you would beach run, I would beach surf, you would slam Jack and Cokes, I'd slam Miller Lights. Now you are literally going to put a Karen wig on and go to the HOA meeting to talk about how they're mistreating you guys.
No, it's not mistreating. It's just
a lack of treatment in general.
No, it's just my thing is like just fix shit. I'm actually not a Karen. It's just you like I shouldn't have to request.
If you can mix and fix your life, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, seriously, I shouldn't have to request 15 times to put a panel on the light outside that has a full bird's nest. It doesn't look good, you know. And again, I'm not asking to get a new pool up there. I'm not asking those things. I'm just like, fix some basic stuff. Which for the record, we got a call about the handicap thing. I got some people on board with the handicap parking spots out of control in the Midwest. You're not going to believe this. I went to the Kroger by me. Now it's a mega Kroger. When it opened, it was, I think, the largest one in Ohio. You know, it's the full shebang. It's got
full shebang.
It's got the.
There was a time it was the largest Kroger in Ohio.
But my point is like it's got everything in it. Like it's where they film the commercial. Burrow's in a Kroger commercial, like popular one around. It's like they film it there. It's the one right by me. But anyway, it's a big Kroger. You name it. They got anything in it. So it's larger. That's the only reason I'm telling you. Okay. It's a larger Kroger. Take a guess how many handicap spots I counted the other day when
14.
I went there. 42.
42.
No exaggeration. I can post a video for you guys.
42.
42 handicap spots.
I think now. How big is the parking lot? Like,
It's a big parking lot. It's a big parking lot.
1,000 spots.
I don't know. It's a good question. I could be completely off. Maybe.
I go back to what I said. I have a feeling that it's like one handicap spot per X spots. You know what I mean? Bet you that's like Ohio law.
You're probably right. 42. I'm just going to play the call real quick. I know we got so much to talk. We got to get this out of the way.
Jackie Robinson is like, hell yeah. Jackie Robinson is very in favor of this Kroger. Fuck 41. Fuck 43. 42.
Hey, boys. This is Mike Eastep calling from Albany, New York. Andy, on the handicap parking thing, I'm kind of with you on it. Out here, there's like popping up veteran parking spaces, expected mother parking spaces, handicap parking spaces, Expos fans parking spaces. I mean, it's just, unrelenting. But I think the issue is more so what you kind of hinted at before, is that people aren't really handicapped. A lot of it's just overweight. I mean, these days, I think you can get a handicap sticker for just about anything. And I always see, people who clearly are able to move freely and, easily hop out of their car to hit handicap spot and, trot on into the store. But so, yeah, I just want to call and say that. Another thing I want to touch on is all these athletes coming out about this Israeli-Palestinian war. Can we just agree that it's okay to not come out with a statement? Why does everyone have to take a side? I feel like, the population of the United States in general is wildly uneducated on this topic. And, just admit you don't know. Just sit that one out. But anyways, that's all. Stay dirty.
Wide range there in the call.
Yeah, that's a lot to hope to. I mean, I agree with his last statement for sure. It's like I almost posted this the other day. I was like, hey, crowd work comic who usually posts like, what do you do for a living? And now you're well versed in international relations. Maybe stick to like the lightly anti-Semitic. Oh, you're a lawyer. Oh, you must be Jewish. You're like, okay, maybe stick. Maybe that should be the as far as you go on the Jewish. So I looked this up, Andy, for Ohio purposes. There's just no way there's this many spots. So the total number of parking spaces in a facility and the required number of accessible parking spaces. So if there's over 1,000 spots in the lot, you have to have 20 parking spaces plus one for each 100 spots. So you have 22 extra over the 20, which would mean you need 2,200 spaces plus the 1,000. There's no way that's a 3,200 person parking lot. 3,200 cars is
no way.
A huge parking lot.
No way.
So that Kroger has just gone above and beyond.
Well, in the 1 second, they're handicap spots like back to back, right? And the one I just looked at, there was 10 and 10, right? And I'm like, it was in the morning. I saw, okay, cool. So out of these 20 spots in this section, there's 2. I know it's first world problems, guys. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying, if you're fat, maybe you should walk into Kroger. Yeah, I said it. I said it. That's you should be maybe losing some weight.
Wait, did you look up that song I told you about last episode? Because this is the second verse of that song. This is the second verse.
I didn't look it up. No.
You didn't look it up? The second verse of the song is like, if you're 800 pounds, you should probably walk into your Kroger supermarket to get your fudge rounds. It's literally the second verse. You wrote it word for word.
Anyway, I'll be on the lookout. I'm gonna control the HOA. I'm gonna go to Kroger. I'm gonna write a list. I'm gonna tell Joe Burrow no more Kroger commercials until they fix this. Which there'll be a lead in. I have to tell you, I have to share this one real quick. Which
Maybe
is
they should use some of those handicap parking spots for the Cincinnati Bengals press that apparently have no parking spaces in.
How
didn't you send me that thing?
wasn't that wild?
Didn't you send me a thing that the Cincinnati Bengals media is parking in the place where they kill people in The Sopranos?
You and Justin, I sent it to.
It's just like a weird, unfinished dirt lot where Christopher Moltisanti's putting bullets in guys and then just kicking them over the fucking into some shrubs.
Dude, I'm gonna pull it up for people to see. This is what I sent to you and Randy Ruther. It's pretty wild. It's right here. So Ben Baby, he's actually the ESPN Bengals reporter.
I didn't even understand. Like, yeah, you can read it.
So he says this year the Bengals informed media we couldn't park at the stadium during the week because of space restrictions.
Now,
some of us go ahead.
Aren't there? I mean, we just talked about the Kroger. Dude, we went to that game through that like jungle area, that like down below street level like parking. Like there's a 5,000 parking spots. Like they can't possibly run out of spots.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that used? Is that like corporate parking during the week or something like that?
Yeah, it's probably because it's downtown. It's probably corporate parking, but
right,
still. So he says some of us park in a lot filled with trash, as you can see in the picture, a couple blocks away. Well, that has now gone too, since the Bengals ordered those spots to be barricaded. This is where the media was parking. And by the way, that background is their indoor practice facility.
Yeah.
So all you idiot, and I'm going to call you idiot homers, not all of you, but the idiot homers who are like, we're not a poverty franchise. You are a poverty franchise.
I mean, this picture is like this like the end of days. That's like where Will Smith was sleeping in I Am Legend. Like, it's a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
And so he writes under it, what is the most interesting part of that is the Bengals were able to execute the order on land that is owned by the city and not the team or Hamilton County, which seems questionably legal at best, but alas. Anyway, so he posted that. And of course, all the idiot, you and I talk about it every week now. All the idiot, you suck anyway. I hope you do park somewhere because he's too critical of the team that he gets paid to cover. You're too critical. Why don't you pay for parking like everyone else? Dude.
Park at the Kroger. Park
at
the Kroger. What are we doing? The Cincinnati Bengals should have a bus from the Kroger. Bus them in from the Kroger.
The homerism of fans, but I did see something at another Kroger yesterday. One of the funniest exchanges. I hopped in it, and this is.
I love this episode is the Kroger Report.
No, but this will lead into our football discussion.
Can we get a Kroger sponsorship? Jesus, we've mentioned them more than we mentioned Miller Lite in 2 weeks.
Largest grocery chain in the country. They got billions of dollars to give. You give Burrow money, give us some money. Anyway, so I went there yesterday to a different one, not the one with 42 handicap spots. And there's a guy in full Bengals gear, right? Mixing jersey, Bengals hat, whatever. An old man walks up to him. He sees what he's wearing, and he goes, "They suck today." And I'm like, okay, this will be a fun conversation.
Here we go.
And the guy wearing the Mixon jersey goes, "Yeah, they did, man. They won, though." And I'm just kind of watching it. And he goes, "They deserve to lose." And I'm thinking, okay, well, like, that's a weird take. Like, they won. The defense played great. The offense was, not good, but they played well enough to win. And then he goes, "I hate them." And the guy goes, "Wait, you're not rooting for him?" He goes, "I'm a Browns fan." And I'm thinking, okay, now this is going to get funny. And then the guy was trying to be nice wearing the Mixon jersey.
Poverty fight. World star. Monkeys throwing shit at each other again.
And the guy, the Bengals fan wearing the Mixer jersey, he was trying to be nice, and he goes, "Yeah, man, that's a huge win for you guys today." And then he goes, "Burrow sucks," and I'm like, "What?" And I go, but he called him Burrows, and I was like, "This is hilarious." This guy was like a crackhead, and then he goes, "He didn't deserve any of that money." And then I had to hop in. I couldn't take it anymore.
Ruther he's like, okay, now you're coming at my boy.
I literally, as I'm grabbing a fucking thing of bread, I totally interject. I look at him, I go, "Dude, you're crazy." I said, Burrow literally not only saved a franchise, he saved this entire city. And he looks at me and he goes, "He sucks. He ain't worth a dime." And I was like, I straight up said to him, "Are you on drugs?" And I probably didn't need to say it because he's on drugs. And then he goes, "I've been a Browns fan since '66 or some shit." And I'm like, what is happening in this Kroger?
You huffing gas?
And then he walked away. And then the mixing guy to me looks at me. So then the mixing guy thinks I'm like diehard Bengals because I interjected. And he goes, "We about to go on a run. We about to go on a run. We win in like 8 or 9 straight." And I was like, "I don't know about that one, man." And then I was like, "What am I doing? I need to get out of this Kroger." Anyway, that was your
perfect segue into Browns Niners.
Perfect segue.
Yeah.
Ugly game.
Watch that. Our good friend Brian. I went over to Brian's house. Brian, Cleveland guy, big Browns fan. Went over there yesterday morning. That's Bloody Mary's. Watched the Browns. He has your YouTube package. He had the quad game going, but we had our audio tuned in to Browns Niners. Big Browns fan down there, and huge win for them. I said it last week. I was like, this is something where you look at that Niners schedule and you're like, oh, with Deshaun Watson, that could be a sneaky game. They win. No Deshaun Watson, the spread balloons, and they still win.
Balloons with PJ Walker. I mean, their D has been legit. It's really legit, but it's been legit. My point is, like, if you got a defense, sloppy, ugly,
right,
weather conditions.
Well, it's if you got a backup quarterback, you got a good defense. You're playing the most loaded team in the NFL. Couldn't be better conditions for you. They probably would have liked even more slop.
Yeah. Deebo Samuel goes out. Christian McCaffrey goes out. Suddenly, Brock Purdy doesn't got his weapons. Now look, say what you're going to say.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a Brock Purdy fan. This is like, I feel like I need to keep reiterating this. Like, we've talked about a lot of I'm not a fan of Kirk Cousins. I'm not a fan of Jared Goff. I'm not a fan of some of these guys that I'm critical of. I'm a Brock Purdy fan. I think he's looked great. Well, I mean, what else could you possibly want from the guy? But I always find it like it comes down to the same thing that it always comes down to with us on this show, or at least the thing that always affects me as a guy who's like watching these games is like overrated, underrated. It really doesn't have anything to do with how good or bad. Like, Brock Purdy's good. There is no doubt about that. But the success of the team really had some people. I mean, we put up a take that this guy. Somebody wrote Brock Purdy's better than Mahomes, and I was just like, this is where we're at. I mean,
was that person being serious?
I think so. I mean, I know there's delusional fans out there of every franchise, but like, my point is, what I said a couple weeks ago with Brock Purdy is, dude, when in doubt, like it's all so much easier when you have the weapons. I mean, like everybody, and I also predicted this was going to happen. Giants play a close game. People are going to be like, Tyler Taylor played better than Daniel Jones. Like, Saquon Barkley's back, guys. Defense played well, guys. Like, let's fucking, like, you have to take all these things. You can't take everything in a vacuum and say, Brock Purdy puts up great numbers and they win every game he starts. He is Tom Brady. It's like, dude, he has more safety valves in weapons on his team than Kroger has handicap spots. Like, suddenly Debo's down, suddenly McCaffrey's down, and the new Patrick Mahomes is got 87 yards passing and is 9 for 21 with like 5 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, man. Here's the thing, though. He definitely, the word exposed, you don't want to say. He, again, like you said, all the conditions,
A good defense, the lack of weapons,
the weather,
and
all
also
those.
guys are allowed to have a bad game.
100%.
But my point is this: is like all of these opinions that you guys all have, you have to take all the things in consideration when you just vacuum it and go like people have been saying. I saw something the other day in the Mahomes because of the way Broncos Chiefs played out. Somebody was like, you look at the stats, like Russell Wilson has better stats than Patrick Mahomes this year. It's like, yeah, he's also throwing to get back into games where he's down 70 points. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes, they're like, they haven't even shifted out of second gear yet.
Yeah.
It's like, so you if you just do stat fucking, you're just basically every fan becomes Jameis 1 of 1. Where you're like, well, a minimum 7 games played in the lights, not with weather. Tua's had a better career than Peyton Manning could ever dream of. And you're like, what? Who gives a shit?
One thing I'll say about Purdy, he had a rough game. He drove them down to win the game.
Like Purdy. Great.
No, I know, but I just want to say this for anybody who wants to come at Purdy. He did, without his weapons, he did drive the team down at the end.
Yeah.
The guy misses a field goal.
Yeah.
A very makeable field goal, I'll say. They're going to be fine. We all know they're going to be fine.
This was the other thing I was going to add. They're not going to face a defense like that. There's not a defense as good as the Browns in the entire NFC. Except maybe the Niners themselves.
So our boy Randy Ruther just sent us actually a great text on the Browns. The Browns have only allowed 1,002 yards this season, the third fewest by a team through its first 5 games since 1970.
Yeah. That's precisely what I was going to say about Purdy and the Niners. You're not going to face this defense anywhere in the NFC playoffs. And as good as the Browns defense is playing, I hate to tell the drug addict Browns fan that was at Kroger, but you're not making the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't think if I had to bet on it, if I had to sprinkle my money around, I'm not putting a whole lot on Browns win the AFC. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibilities.
I'm putting none.
I don't think they are winning the AFC. Okay?
No.
So if you're the Niners, it's literally like, we'll never have to play this good of a defense on a run to a potential championship. Right?
Sure.
Is there an NFC team whose defense is even close to the Browns?
Not right now.
Not other than the Niners themselves.
Yeah, I mean, teams can get hot.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, they get after it. And that's why that division is just going to be such a gauntlet for all those teams. Right? The Bengals defense can play great. The Ravens defense can play great. The Browns defense usually always plays great. It's like, Steelers D. It's like, it's going to be a dogfight. I think I got a stat. Oh yeah. Everybody's sending me some stats. Mata sent me a little stat. Who's the Browns defensive coordinator? Jim Schwartz?
Mm-hmm.
He sent me this yesterday on DM. Jim Schwartz is now 9-1 versus Kyle Shanahan, dating back to when Kyle was at Atlanta and Jim in Philly. That's from Mike Lombardi. But that's an interesting stat. 9-1.
Yeah.
Scheming against each other. Look, the Niners are going to be fine, obviously. They're too good of a team. They're too well coached.
Yeah, I'm not worried about them at all.
I like that.
Might even help them in the long run.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like that there's no undefeated teams already. I like we have, which will be my next discussion I want to have with you. Who's the best 5-1 team? We got the Chiefs, Dolphins, Eagles, Lions, and Niners. Or, caveat, who's playing the best football right now?
Well, to me, probably two different questions. Lions are probably playing the best football right now. I mean, they've won 4 straight games by 2 touchdowns.
I was going to say the Lions are playing the best football right now.
But, which to me, the two 5-1 teams, I mean, it's the teams that I picked to go to the Super Bowl.
Sure.
I think it's Chiefs Niners.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want, but the who's playing the best and who am I most confident in when all these teams have to play each other is a different story, you know? I would happily bet the Niners money line with all of my life savings in a game in the playoffs in Detroit, in San Francisco, in a Kroger parking lot. I don't give a fuck where it's played. I'll take the Niners. And then the Chiefs, they've won 5 straight. I think I saw a biggest point differential for them through 6 weeks. Like the Chiefs, they get a little week 1 shocker without Travis Kelce, and now it's just like
Sure.
Cruising along. Travis Kelce's like, hey, can we get this game over on Thursday? I got to go to SNL.
Can I bring up something about that?
Yeah.
First of all, that sketch. Did you watch it?
No.
I watched it before today's episode. It's so bad. Guys, I'm not, I don't want people to be like, oh, Ruther comes across as like a jealous or whatever. Maybe you would think that. I just think it's so unfunny. Like, it's them parroting Fox's Crew, you know, with Howie Long and Kurt Menefee and Strahan and Jimmy Johnson. It's just so bad. Like I am cringing watching that sketch, and the impersonations are so bad. So I want to pose this. Who is watching this shit? That's the first thing I want to ask. Like again, who's watching it?
Well, Andy, I have the answer to that question for you. And this is something that
who's watching that
has been talked about for a very long time in terms of you can go back and see this. There was a time, I believe it was in the New Yorker, where the cast of Sandler, Spade, Farley, Phil Hartman, all that was panned. Called the worst cast ever. This is the end of SNL. And essentially, that was when you and I were, I mean, you're a little bit younger than me, but that's like my middle school years, my high school years. That's my early high school years. That's reruns on Comedy Central. Our generation would say that's the best cast. There is a thing with essentially SNL is made for high school kids staying up late. And once you age out of that, you just start going, like, who's watching this? This isn't funny. It's dumb.
That makes sense.
And so every single person who watches SNL thinks that their middle school / high school cast is the best cast that there ever was.
Well, that is interesting. And then Pete Davidson came on as a Swiftie, an Italian like Swiftie at Jets, for the Jets, you know, at MetLife, the Jets game. And I'm just like, I don't get it. And then Kelce makes his cameo, but that's going to lead to another thing I wanted to ask. At what point, because I think it'll happen, at what point do his teammates, or maybe I'm wrong, I think at some point the Chiefs teammates get sick of all this shit.
There's I guess the flip side of that coin is Chiefs teammates that, like, you know, people always talk about this with like Kaepernick and Tebow and whatever. It's like, dude, like Kadarius Toney could kill a man. Kadarius Toney could kill a man in cold blood tomorrow, and like he'd be holding a human head in the locker room, and the minute the press doors open, they're going to be running to Travis Kelce's locker. What'd you guys eat at dinner? Kadarius Toney's like, I killed a man with a Triton, and they're like, relax, dude. We have Taylor Swift shit to talk. So I don't know. Maybe the flip side of the coin is like, ain't nobody going like, Pat have you thought about inviting Jackson back to the stadium this year? He's like, I don't have to talk about Jackson ever again. Travis is dating Taylor Swift.
But and again, I know we're beating a dead bush, as I say.
They're like, what's Taylor drinking? Meanwhile, Brittany Mahomes is urinating out the box onto fans in like 30-degree weather. No one's saying shit.
It's tough to watch their games now, guys. I used to love watching Chiefs games. It's tough to watch them. I don't want to hear anything about her. I don't want to see her. I don't give a shit when I'm watching a Chiefs Thursday night game. Like, I don't care. Al Michaels didn't care. I empathize with Al Michaels. He did not want to talk about her at all.
He also doesn't eat vegetables. That's a fun.
I've seen that. That's weird. None? He doesn't eat any vegetables.
No, they were like, what about a carrot? And he was like, no. Did you see
that
whole thing? I know.
I haven't watched the whole thing.
He's such like an old American. He's just like Scotch and steak.
How's he still alive?
I don't know.
So the Chiefs won, covered that spread at the very end. Talk about covering that 10.5. So now the Broncos have one win still. The Patriots have one win. Are they both going to try to tank for Caleb Williams?
If you're the Broncos, you really have a fucking like this Russ situation. There's no way out of this. Like, there's literally no way out of this. How do they get out of this? You have to force him to retire. You have to force him to retire. And I saw a tweet the other day. I want to say it was a coward. No, it wasn't coward, something like that. But like, should Russ retire so that he can still make it to the Hall of Fame?
That's a fascinating conversation.
I mean, you're like first ballot when he left the Seahawks.
But he was.
But
I didn't say that. I said he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
It's going down in flames.
I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. You had 10 years that you've built that you've literally lit on fire in a season and a third. A season and a third. You took that Hall of Fame plaque and you took a blowtorch and just lit it on fire.
What's crazy is like, unlike other sports, like in baseball,
doesn't matter.
Somebody just take a chance. They'd be like, I don't know. Let's take a chance on Russ. You can't, there's no team. No one wants him. He's untradeable.
Unless he takes a pay cut.
What does that even look like? Why would he do that?
I don't know, man.
So if you're like, I guess the question is, the Patriots tank for Caleb Williams. I mean, we're in the same kind of situation for the Giants. I mean, the Giants only have one more year where Daniel Jones is like guaranteed. But it's like, are you tanking for Caleb Williams when you have to pay a guy for one more year? Also, when you paid him because you felt like he looked good, but now he doesn't look good because you have no, like Justin Pugh ended up at left tackle yesterday. He was on the couch and now he's your left tackle for 77 snaps of the game. Like, does Caleb Williams make it better? Or you just now you're just paying a quarterback and you have another quarterback and you have problems. Like, if you're the Broncos, you have Caleb Williams and Russ and a terrible team. It'd be one thing if it was like a Drew Brees situation. Remember, they had Brees. They went and got River. They traded Brees. He had value. Russell Wilson has no value.
So what about the Patriots then?
Well, I don't know. Mac Jones at least never got paid anything. They could just be like, cool, get fucked.
I keep seeing more and more about people saying Belichick should be fired. Do you think Belichick would sit through a total tank mode for Caleb Williams?
Probably. I mean, you got to think if you're Bill Belichick, with the relationship he has with Kraft, with the history there, with the fact that he's the GM, that's got to be he's got to be in his office being like they have to be talking about this as a potential thing, right?
100%.
Are we tanking? Are you like, what's the move here?
Yeah.
Belichick also doesn't seem like a tank guy to me.
No, he doesn't.
But
at this point, though.
But at the same time, you know, if he's having those conversations with Kraft, if you get the go ahead, but yeah, I mean, who's also? Can we talk about something? Caleb Williams played like absolute ass.
I was gonna say he had a terrible game.
The guy in Washington looked fucking amazing. Now everybody's saying, somebody said I saw a thing Caleb Williams would have gone ahead of Burrow and Trevor Lawrence based on like projections.
I saw that too. So the thought is that if all three were available for the number one pick,
that the measurables and the scouting and the whatever, Caleb Williams is a better prospect than those guys.
I saw it because every Bengals fan got butthurt.
Which is like, why do you guys give a fuck? You're not drafting him. Also, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, you look back historically, like Burrow wasn't talked about like Trevor Lawrence or like Andrew Luck.
No.
They were like, these guys lock pro prospects.
Or Caleb Williams, for that matter.
Right. Burrow played his way into that with that season.
100%.
So I don't know where Caleb Williams ends up or how Caleb Williams ends up or what. Like, I don't at this point.
I just think the Patriots are so bad. Whether they tank or not, they're just going to keep losing games. They're so bad.
I mean,
you're losing to Brian Hoyer, man.
Yeah.
You're losing to Brian fucking Hoyer. How's that guy still in the NFL? He's in his 15th season.
Well, in 2021, he would have been like third in total QBR.
Jameis 101.
That's a deep Jameis 101, Nug.
Yeah, I saw all that. It's a deep cut right there. Saints did not do me good yesterday. They did not do me good. I'll tell you what, man. There are some up for grabs divisions right now. You know, we're third through the season. I don't know what to make of some of these divisions. Like, that's one of them. I don't know.
NFC South. So you like, I mean, it's up for grabs, but it's also like the Saints could just back their way into it, right? I mean, the Falcons lost to the Commanders. The Panthers like win.
They all lost yesterday. All of them.
The Panthers like were leading by 14. That's the half win they're going to get this year. It's like you guys get a half a win for that. At one point, you were up 14 on the Dolphins before you're getting absolutely just smoke Johnny'd for the rest of the game. But yeah, like everybody lost. Like no one gained ground. The Saints lose. The Falcons, like no one even.
Bucks lose. Yeah, I don't know. Once again, here we are. What is up with the South divisions? What is up with them? It's like mediocrity forever.
Yeah.
The South divisions.
Of all the South teams, of the 8 South teams, at this point, the Jaguars look like the best of those 8 teams, right?
Hands down. It's not even close. Then they play in London.
And they
The
should.
best team in the AFC South literally plays in London.
Yeah.
Cheerio. I would love to see how many. I would love to know the actual number of legit diehard London Jags fans.
But when the Jags play, when they show those games there, it's a cuck cam
Cuck Cam
bonanza.
Fest.
Yeah. Like it's just fans. Like it seems like every American football fan has like a random team.
Which can I say something? It's still a weird move. Let me put it in context. I don't get it. Like you're still a cuck. If you're wearing.
Yeah, I mean, if Man United and
That's what I'm
Real
saying.
Madrid played a friendly at the Rose Bowl, and you just show up in a fucking Inter Milan jersey, and you're like, soccer, people will be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
That's what I'm saying. I was just about to say that. I wouldn't show up in a Messi jersey unless he's playing.
But I feel like and you know me. How many times have I raged on this in the history? This is an annual tweet. I mean, I have it queued up. It's in my drafts every year for retweeting. It's essentially everybody that goes to those games is the guy who goes to the Super Bowl party in the fucking. It's like, oh, I'm in my Raiders jersey, bro. The Raiders were eliminated 8 weeks ago. Just wear a fucking polo shirt. Like, what are you doing here? It's just like, oh, it's football day. It's like, no, dude, it's not football day.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is at this point, how have all those fans not turned? Like they should all be Jags fans. The Jags have embraced you guys.
My point is, I want to know the number of actual legit Jags fans living in London or the UK. Is it over under 1,000?
Do you think it's the highest team?
No, I don't. I think a popular team. Like, have the Cowboys monopolized England too?
Great Britain's team.
Yo, fool. I made him Australian.
You made him like borderline fucking New Zealander. You fit? You fit? Like fit?
Oh man.
Are you saying yo fool? Nah.
Let's talk a little Bengals Seahawks game. I tell you what, that's the Bengals team you just can't figure out. They drive down, score their first 2 touchdowns. Offense looks unstoppable.
Yeah.
Get 3 points the rest of the game. Geno Smith. God, he was like Jets Geno Smith yesterday. They had the ball. I don't know if you saw this stat. The Seahawks in the second half, Joe, had the ball 4 times within the 10-yard line. They scored 3 points.
Geno Smith, Tyrod Taylor pointing at each other, Spider-Man meme.
like, dude, you score 3 points inside of 10 4 times?
Yeah, they had that game. They had so many opportunities to take that game, and they did.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Bengals defense played great.
Yeah.
Dude, Zach Taylor, I know people were sick of hearing his play calling. I just, at what point do they just take this away from this dude? Like,
but who's taking it? He's the head coach of the team.
I don't know.
That's like the reverse Giants situation, which is like, we obviously had some play calling nightmares yesterday. And then the whole thing is the one actual offensive explosion that they had. It's pretty clear to anybody who understands football that Dable was at least calling the plays via the offensive coordinator in Arizona. And then he denied it and then essentially has not been seen calling plays since. And you're like, at what point do you take the play calling? But when Zach Taylor's your play caller, it's like, at what point does Jerry Jones fire his GM? It's like, he is the GM.
Well, I was texting with Justin last night, and I said I'm sticking to. When they started 0-2, I kept saying 9-8 season. Hence, I made that bet with my buddy. My buddy said they're still going to win 10 games. I still stick to 9-8 season. But we were saying again, with the talent level that they have on offense, You can't. This can't happen.
Yeah.
Burrow looks pretty healthy now. I don't know what it is, but he moved around the pocket. He rushed for a first yard, scrambling. I think he still missed some throws yesterday, but overall, he completed like 15 straight passes at one point. To me, we talk about coaching, Joe. To me, that was the difference. You seen the second half, they do nothing. Pete Carroll, conversely, makes changes on their defense, completely stops the Bengals. It's like, who can make adjustments, who can't? That's going to be a wild division. Because overall, the Bengals still have the best offense. They might not be performing like they do, but it's not even close, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But meanwhile, the Ravens are winning ugly. The Browns are winning ugly. Steelers head off this week, right? Steelers bye week.
Yeah. We had I didn't see this, and to me, it's not a big deal. But we had a call about the Steelers game last week.
And it's worth playing a week later. It's not a big deal.
I mean, I don't know. I have the clip too. It's like I didn't see this. I didn't even know this was a thing. I don't know if it's a thing. It's about Kenny Pickett throwing that touchdown pass. And I guess he audibled at the line, and the Steelers offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, shows no emotion at all. And I guess it turned into a thing within Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I saw the clip. I didn't know that was what was behind. I just saw like Canada's reaction to the touchdown pass.
So you saw that?
Yeah, but I didn't know what was behind it was like. So it became a big deal because he was like low key upset because Kenny Pickett get audibled and they scored?
I don't know, but none of it makes sense because apparently they worked on the audible in practice.
Right.
I'll just play the call real quick.
Okay.
Or we can skip over it.
Yeah, I don't care. Well, you decide.
There's no discussion here. Let's just move along.
Great. Good talk.
Tyler, I appreciate the call. I had the clip too, but like basically Kenny Pickett, I watched enough on it. He said, look, yeah, I made the audible. We also worked on the audible in practice. However, Matt Canada, I don't know why he's not reacting.
Right.
Like this was it.
No, I said, yeah.
Football, and there's Matt.
There's no reaction. Everybody else in the maybe he just doesn't show emotion.
Yeah. Maybe he's dead inside.
Like their offense. Look, I mean, it was a great play. Their offense is pretty dead.
Yeah.
They're going to somehow win 8 or 9 games, though.
Right. That seems like the whole division. I mean, you got the Bengals at 9-8. You got the fucking Steelers at 8 or 9 wins. We got the Browns. Like, would you put the Browns right there?
Yeah.
And so, what are we talking about here? Like, if the Ravens win 10 games, it's the division's theirs.
If I gave you $10, how are you allotting that?
Oh man,
That's
to win the division.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd like, honestly, at this point, I might just go 4 ways.
So I would go Bengals, Ravens 3.
The other 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Bengals have the hardest remaining schedule of any team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Just something to think about. Let's talk about your Giants.
Let's talk about it.
The 2 plays from the 1-yard line. We got to start there.
The first half one, I can't even believe this conversation with Matt Canada or whatever and the audible and whatever. There's a legit conversation happening online that this is on Dable. Dable has to tell his quarterback, don't audible to a run. When you're like, dude, Tyrod Taylor's been in the league 13 seasons. He's 34 years old. He's played on like 5 franchises. Do I have to tell him there's a running clock if you don't like? How in the world? How in the world is that what happens there? And then the Dable reaction he turns to the offensive coordinator and is like, what in the fuck just happened? And he's like, I don't know. And now he's not talking to the press after halftime, the whole thing. But it's just like, dude, you have 2 plays there. You have 2 if you don't run
Possibly
the ball.
3.
Possibly 3. Yeah, I mean, theoretically.
That's 100% on the quarterback.
Like how? What?
He audibles to a run with 13 seconds left. It's not on the coach. That's definitely not on the coach. The coach can't.
That's what I said. And you know, I saw people fucking take like Sean Green. I mean, he's a Eagles fan and a Giant, and he also had to watch Jalen Hurts have an absolute fucking meltdown against the Jets. So I get it. He was in a mood, I'm sure. But he calls out Dable, oh, coach of the year. I go, and he was like, the coach has got to tell him. And I go, and I replied, I go, yeah, and he's got to tell his team not to get drunk at halftime. Like, what are we talking about?
That's like the coach having to tell J.R. Smith what's going on.
Yeah,
at the end of that
but also like
game.
imagine if Tyrod Taylor dropped back and like took a sack, they would be like, oh, you got to know you can't take a sack there. Throw it away. Take a fucking,
for sure.
You know, take a 10-second run up, but you can't take a sack there. You just audible to the run. It was horrible, horrible.
Never seen anything like it.
If that's a situation, like, not only do they have essentially 2 or 3 shots to get into the touch, but like you for sure left 3 on the board.
100%.
3. Let alone the 7 you leave on the board then and at the end of the game. Now we also have, prior to the final drive, there's the drive before the drive. First, the Bills, before the final drive, the Bills get Josh Allen fucking choke bounces one. They miss a field goal. But the drive before that, you have Saquon Barkley. Like, he's running the ball down their throats. You get there, like Saquon Barkley has like a Derrick Henry type of thing where it's like
it gets better as the game goes on.
It's the body blows in boxing. Like you watch a guy hit somebody for 8 rounds and you're like, it's not even doing anything. But then it starts to take its toll, and all of a sudden that's what can cripple you. He's running them over. You get down to a 4th and 1, and you go Matt Breida out of the shotgun. Like, first of all, like at some point in my life, and I tweeted this, at some point in my life, the Giants will put a quarterback under center and run for a yard instead of this shotgun. Here you go. Good luck. But also Saquon Barkley. He's like, somebody introduced Dable to Saquon Barkley. And then what's crazy is you get down to the 1 at the end of the game on a pass interference. Why? Like, now you can run that run play that you ended the first half on, because it's an untimed down. It doesn't matter. Can you get 1 yard? That's why you have the guy. Now we can. I'm not a fucking ref guy. I'm not a blame the ref guy, but that was also a horrific no call.
That was a bad call.
But as I've said, two factors here. One, on an untimed play, on a Hail Mary, and all that, like, they just let you do whatever you want. And 2, they were never going to call 2 pass interferences in a row. They were never going to do it.
Which is bullshit, though.
So of course it's bullshit. It was a worse hold. It was a worse hold, do we agree, than what ended the Super Bowl?
The Rams Bengals?
The fucking Eagles Chiefs. The little jersey tug.
Yeah. Well,
the little half a jersey tug.
Yeah. Well, I remember the one on Logan Wilson and the Bengals was pretty tiny too. Yeah. No, I agree, dude. I mean, he's pulling him down. But you're right. They're not going to call it twice.
You said before the show, we were talking about it. You said, like, in the untimed down situation and the Hail Mary situation.
Oh, I said before the show, when it's untimed down, Hail Mary, you could basically go full last Boy Scout the final play. You pull out a Glock and shoot somebody in the chest.
Yeah.
Dude, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Because it's truly amazing. You watch any untimed down or definitely a Hail Mary. Guys are getting tackled.
Yeah. And the refs are just like, the refs do the fucking
the gif.
Yeah. Or the refs are now doing the fucking King of Queens meme. Just like, I don't even understand that meme, but I think that's how you use it. Like fucking the refs just like the refs just smiling.
Kevin James King of Queens meme. Yeah, man.
I mean, horrible. Listen, the Giants
had pretty blatant.
The Giants had a chance to win that game multiple times. The defense plays really well. The defense, maybe injures Josh Allen at one point. He looks knocked around at some point. The defense shows up. The offensive line that gets pieced together with a guy off, Justin Pugh comes off a couch, ends up playing left tackle for the entire game. Actually plays a little bit better. Tyrod Taylor, I knew it was going to happen. I've already seen the tweets. We got to stick with Tyrod Taylor. Like, bro, he audibled to the run. At the end of the game. He audibled to the run at the end of the first half. And it's not like he played a great game. Also, Saquon Barkley was back. And, the offensive line shows up a little bit. So there's all that. But also, sadly, the Giants season was over because I assumed loss, Dolphins, Bills. Loss, Dolphins, Bills. It's over. The Giants needed to win that Seahawks game because if you go loss, Dolphins, Bills, you're 1-5. Meanwhile, you beat this Bills team. It's on life support, but season's back on for a moment. Unless you lose the Commanders. But like you win this game and then you go play the Commanders a couple times in a few weeks and you have some shitty teams. But now it doesn't matter. You had 2 halves end at the 1 yard line with 0 points.
I thought
you lose the game by 5 or whatever it is.
I thought of he who shall not be named last night.
Because of Tyrod Taylor.
Because
of his love of Tyrod Taylor.
And he never fessed up that Baker Mayfield.
That's Tyrod Taylor's first start since he got benched for Baker Mayfield.
No, I think he started for the Texans once.
Okay.
Yeah, but I thought of that last night. The Bills, I think they had like
from now on we should refer to he who shall not be named as Tyrod 1 of 1.
That's funny. Like the Bills are struggling.
We have so many he who shall not be names. I'm just going to make them all 1 of 1s.
That's funny. The Bills, though, I think I saw the stat. They had scored 30 points in 3 straight games before the last 2 weeks. They go through this throughout the year, though, I've noticed. Like every year. They go through lulls, man. Like that division's real interesting as well, minus the Patriots, right? The Jets won 2 in a row. Their defense looked great yesterday. Obviously, the Bills are 4-2. Miami's 5-1, playing great football.
I mean, there's certainly an opportunity if the Jets keep playing halfway decent football. There's certainly an opportunity here where those 3 teams could all be in playoff contention. I mean, you're right now. I don't know what the standings are. I don't even know if they do if they'll put out like a wild card thing already. But I'm assuming the Bills would be in the playoffs, even though they wouldn't be division winners.
No, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't.
They wouldn't.
Wow. Who would be ahead of them? Well, the Chargers.
Well, the Browns and Steelers, but they've also played one last game.
Right.
I mean, it's early, but yeah. So that would be it. The 3 non-division leading teams would be Bills, Steelers, Browns.
Bills, Steelers, Browns.
It's going to get real interesting because the NFL, again, has set it up so brilliantly to have so much parity.
We got to talk about this Jets game, though, right?
Oh, hell yeah. They don't have 2 of their starting DBs. They still pick off Jalen Hurts 3 times.
And dropped like 4 others. I mean, Jalen Hurts was throwing them the ball.
Yeah, he didn't play well. I missed called this game.
They have red zone problems. My issue with the Eagles right now is twofold. One, and I can't believe somebody like tried to fucking call me out. Like, their defense isn't what they were last year. Like, we all know that, right?
No.
And then it just feels like, and I know it's great when you have incredible playmakers, but it just feels like a lot of, unlike the Niners, where it's like, oh, we have 3rd and 7. Like, oh, just like quick throw to Debo, let him like make people miss. Like, it feels like the Eagles have a lot of these things where it's like, oh, let's just like chuck it up. And A.J. Brown's got to make some incredible catch. And like, he's playing so well that apparently he was the one who spoke to the team after in the locker room. He's playing so well, but it's like, I mean, the amount of unreal plays, like I feel like this guy has like dragged them out of 3rd and longs. If it wasn't for A.J. Brown playing like an elite wide receiver, like I think the Eagles offense would be in disarray.
Well, they're definitely not playing like they did last year again. They're just not. Now, you are what your record is. They're 5-1. But like we said, they had a light schedule to start. This is a fucking good ass defense, man.
Look at what the Eagles have coming up, too. I think the Eagles have like the Dolphins this week. And then the Niners or something like that.
Let's see here. All right, so you're right. So they go Dolphins, Commanders, Cowboys, bye, Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Cowboys.
Dude, bye, Chiefs, Bills, Niners.
Then Cowboys, Seahawks.
Now, I think as critical as I've been of the Eagles just right now, and like they're better than the Cowboys still. But those are division, like they can certainly lose one.
Sure.
I mean, they went to overtime against the Commanders. They've got them coming up again. But Dolphins next week, and then a Bills Chiefs Niners run, a Chiefs Bills Niners run post bye.
That'll be a tough run.
And you talk about the Jets defense played really, 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 really well. I guess like we talked about before with Brock Purdy, you're probably in the NFC not facing a defense as good as that either, but you do have the 49ers. Yeah, that the 49ers are your road to the Super Bowl, right? In the NFC. I mean, I know there's this like the Lions, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't put like the Lions have been playing okay defense, but I don't put the Lions defense with the 49ers.
The Lions have been playing great defense.
Right.
They're not the Niners.
They're not. I would say that the Lions defense isn't like pound for pound, even as probably as difficult as the Jets defense.
Yeah, I mean, look, personnel wise, probably not. It just sucks that they got Zach Wilson. God.
Well, did you see? Dude, Aaron Rodgers is already back. He's throwing the football. It's 5 weeks from his Achilles. He's already throwing a football.
Is he?
Yeah, he's throwing a football, Andy.
I didn't see that.
He went with the Colonel's 31 herbs and spices. He's rubbing on that Achilles.
KFC?
Yeah. This guy's got a special blend of herbs and spices, dude.
You messing with me?
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the right. He's different. That's what he says. He's approaching this in a different way.
I gotcha.
Most guys are still on crutches at this time. He's throwing footballs, dude. You can't bring Aaron Rodgers back. You can't. I mean, at what point do you bring Aaron Rodgers back? Let me ask you something. If the Jets are 9-7 going into week 18, and Aaron Rodgers says he could play, do you play him?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
You do?
Sure.
You're 9-7. You've won 9 games with Zach Wilson.
No.
A win gets you in. Maybe a win gets you in the playoffs. A win gives you a shot. You go Aaron Rodgers off the Achilles.
Will he address that he gets paid from Pat McAfee on the show this week? He has to, right?
Dude, I don't even think he's addressed he gets paid by Johnson. So what are we talking about? I don't even think he's addressed that.
I know it sounds ridiculous. People are going to laugh. I can't get over it. Even since we talked about it last episode, I just can't get over it. I just can't get over that. Like it bothers me. Like the whole thing is like, oh, he doesn't deal with the media and he's got his buddy and he does an hour unfiltered. You don't have to agree with this thing. That's cool. But he's doing his thing unfiltered. And then you're like, he's getting paid. And you're like, what the fuck, man?
And it wasn't up front. It didn't come. It wasn't just something like, dude, if it had just said, if Pat McAfee had just said, and Aaron Rodgers out of the gate had just said, I pay Aaron to come on the show, and Aaron is going to give that money to charity.
100%.
Now, the way Pat McAfee tried to explain it was basically he wasn't paying him out of the gate, and then he just gave him money.
Yeah.
But that's like, that's like pulling your credit card when you're out with your parents. I got it. They're like, you're stupid. This is dumb. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Well, it's like,
don't embarrass yourself,
Yeah.
People are weird with money, dude, though. Like, it's crazy. People are weird with money.
No, people are. But again, it's like, I can't, as someone who liked to listen to those interviews,
it changes the way you listen to them.
I'm just not going to listen to them anymore.
Wow.
I just, it's like, it's just the lack of transparency, man. Like you're saying.
Now, I
don't care that he's getting paid, but like you said, if it's just,
I don't even want to go into the COVID thing because we've talked about it at length and it's infuriated people. But like, forget the COVID, like forget his like stance on it or whatever. Isn't that the exact thing that we talked about last year with him on the like? He wasn't transparent about it.
Yeah, for sure.
He lied, and then changed the way he was lying about it. Originally, it was I'm whatever he said. I'm fucking whatever the word he used. That he knew exactly what he was doing. Then the turnaround was I'm allergic. And then it was like, well, not to the one that your company that pays your salary made. You're not allergic to that one, but you didn't take that one. You know what I mean? So, and then the story just kept changing, and then it was like the Djokovic thing, and then it's now he's WWEing Travis Kelce. It's like, dude, no one cared except that you lied about it. That was the issue from the beginning. You weren't transparent. You lied.
It like for me personally, it just sucks because I like I like Rodgers. I like McAfee. And it's just, again, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys. And I was texting with Joe about this. I didn't like the spin either. How then, Pat was like, I take care
We
of my
take
friends.
care of our people. Yeah.
Which, dude, I think that's great. And I know he does. But that's what he fails to understand. And that's fine. He's not a journalist. But when someone pays you guys, if we have someone on our show and we're paying them, it 100% is going to affect the questions you ask somebody. It just is. Like,
or the things that you'll like laugh through, and the things that I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of what the weird last few weeks has been, right? Like, it seems like Pat McAfee's like, I don't even know why you're doing this, and then he's just laughing it off.
But I want to bring up something too, which is fascinating, because this hasn't really been discussed. Who leaked that? Who tipped it to Andrew Marchand from the New York Post? Who?
Right.
Because this doesn't help ESPN.
And why?
Right. This doesn't help ESPN. So nobody from ESPN you would think would have tipped this. It doesn't help ESPN. It doesn't help Pat McAfee. It doesn't help Aaron Rodgers. So who tipped it? So who got the tip? Somebody from Barstool? Like, is there a Barstool issue since Pat left them?
Can I throw a deep conspiracy at you? Who was on the show just a couple weeks ago? Jason Kelsey. Jason Kelsey does McAfee. McAfee throws him money. He's like, do you pay your fucking guests? Then Rodgers goes WWE with the Mr. Pfizer thing. And Jason tells Travis, dude, he gets paid to go on that show. He's getting paid to go on Pat McAfee and call you Mr. Pfizer. Now, who has the fucking phone number of every goddamn journalist on the planet right now? Dude, you could call, if you called Jeff Bezos right now and you got his secretary on the phone, you're like, Travis Kelsey's on the line for you. He's like, great, put him through. There's no one Travis Kelsey can't call right now. Hey, Taylor, can you get me in touch with somebody at the New York Post? She's like, yeah, they're outside my house. Just go out and tell them right now. That guy right there standing by my garbage can, he is with the New York Post. He goes, Aaron Rodgers gets paid to go on this show. The Jason Kelsey paycheck from Pat McAfee 3 weeks ago unravels the whole thing.
But it's not known that he pays everybody. It's known that he pays Nick Saban and Aaron Rodgers. And again, I was just so surprised, guys, just for some context. Like, I know we talked about it last episode. We didn't pay a single person when I was doing radio. And that includes like Kevin Hart promoting a movie, Khloe Kardashian. Like, these are, I would argue, like huge names coming on Lance Bass's show. They're not seeing money. That's why I was like, he's getting paid? I don't know, man. What's the saying? Never meet you, don't live long enough to see it. What's the hero one?
The Two-Face one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Live long enough to become the villain.
And I'm not calling anybody a villain here. It's just, I think maybe I'm still naive. Maybe I'm just still naive.
And maybe Aaron is donating it to charity. Maybe he's giving it to Brett Favre's volleyball court. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's happening with it?
Well, speaking of, being surprised, can I share a dirtball story from yesterday?
We love dirtball stories.
Dirtballs are funny. Here's the thing. When you hear this, you're going to say this is such a dirtball story.
Yeah.
So I am down at an area in
Kroger. You're a Kroger. We get it, dude. You love Kroger.
So I'm down at the Banks, which is across from the Red Stadium. It's a huge area, bars, restaurants. It's great. And in between the Reds and Bengals Stadium. And I was down there for some Gold Star stuff. We were going to film some man on the street shit, but it didn't work anyway. But anyway, like it ended up turning into basically scouting the area for a future film session. Anyway, I'm talking to somebody in front of one of the bars. There's a big line outside a Yard House. And all of a sudden, this real tall dude, I just hear go, Ruther. And I look over, and the girl I was with who was going to be filming me, we both look over, and he's like, Ruther. And I don't know what to do. Like, I freeze up, Prano, and I'm thinking, you ever get anxiety? You're like, oh, I don't know who you are. I feel like I should know you. You're calling me Ruther. You know me. And I'm thinking, oh, man, is this somebody I like? Oh, I know this person?
What's funny is because, obviously I'm like doing like my whereabouts are generally pretty well known. You can know what city you can find me in. Sometimes a football game you can find me in. So this happens to me a lot. And I go, this is a dirt ball. In my head, I'm always like, here we go.
Well, yeah. So I
especially don't know. And you got Ruther, but a lot of times for me, it's tipped off before ever. Somebody be like, no, chill. I'm like,
that's a tip.
Here we go.
I hear Ruther. My first thought was, he's not like right next to me, but he's also not like he's not too far, but he's not right next to me. I'm thinking like, did I go to high school?
It was Ethan?
What's up? Yeah,
no, it was Ethan.
So this is somebody I know from high school, but then I see he's younger, but he says Ruther a few times, and then I walk over, and he still doesn't say his name, and his girlfriend is like, "Hey."
No, it's always their girlfriend. Girlfriends of dirtballs are like the translators when there's a Japanese baseball player.
That's the best way to put it.
They're like, oh, he's such a big fan. He listens to your show all the time. He makes me listen. And the guys just are like, and then I'll give you a tip, Ruther. You gotta get out of the way early when you meet a rant. You just like, you want a picture?
No, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't do that. So she hops right in. She's like, I've been hearing your voice.
If you don't do you want a picture? A lot of times we're just gonna mill around for 4 to 6 hours. Oh, where are you going next? They'll be like, you want a picture, man? Somebody take this picture of us.
So she's like, hey, I've been hearing your voice for years, and she's real complimentary. Like, I love you guys on the show, and you're one of the only sports podcasts I can listen to. And she introduces herself. I'm sorry, I totally forgot your name. I'm terrible. He still doesn't introduce his name. And she couldn't be more personal and friendly. And I just go, dude, what's your name? And he's like, I'm Landon. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then, of course, it was like, I DM'd you one time to see where I should go in Vegas. And you said the strip club Spearmint, right? You know how they always have a DM story. And I just thought it was so funny that is that not the most dirtball thing ever? Just yell my name. Don't introduce yourself. Didn't even say, hey, man, I listened to your pod. Like, he might have. I don't know if he said it. It was just so funny. And then there with a couple other friends. He's actually from Wisconsin. She grew up kind of near here. So I believe they were going to the Bengals game. But I'm just like, classic. That's the best way to put it. The girlfriend or the wife or whoever, significant other, is always essentially the translator.
Yeah. He loves you guys. Like, does he speak? They're always a sweet little girlfriend. They have some gorilla boyfriend is like, all right, well, tell him in whatever language he speaks that, we appreciate all the support. Then you start doing ESL. You want a picture? Get in here. I'll take a selfie of all three of us. The number of fucking dirtball girlfriends I have selfies with, and they're probably just like, why am I could have taken this picture?
Well, dirtballs.
Shout out to Landon. Thanks for the support, Landon.
Yeah, much love, Landon.
I always like to. I like to rib dirtballs a little bit too, but also and this is not sometimes I got to remember we're kind of it's like meeting their favorite celeb. or whatever. It's like it's nice. It's nice when they're. Sometimes it's nice that they're that weird.
No, for sure.
A little starstruck.
Well,
there's always some built-in. There's like for me, I feel like you're also more of the enigma of the show. You're now in Ohio. Like I said, you're less like there's some built-in. Like small talk. I mean, like I feel like when I meet a dirtball, it's like how long till he pulls the safety net of like, can I buy you a Miller Lite? Like, dude, if you can have a 4-minute conversation with me before you're like, hey, let me buy you a Miller Lite. Bro, we're at a Chase Bank. Like, I don't know. I just gotta have a Miller Lite around here somewhere. Let's go get you a Miller Lite.
Well, we look forward to the awkward encounters in New Orleans,
That's
December 16th.
That's right.
Now we have an update on tickets, Joe.
We do. Thank you for pointing that out, Andy. You're great.
It's
You're
important.
fantastic at plugs. So, big news. The bundle is back on. We were doing 2 for 1, not 2 for 1, but 2 for 30 podcast and a show. What basically what it comes down to, you guys were buying the podcast tickets and you were getting a show, but it's hard to figure out what show everybody was going to go to then. So stop Missy Elliott flipping or reverse it. If you go to my stand-up links, if you go to there's 2 links for my stand-up shows, our stand-up shows. Andy's going to be on the shows. Pete Sestaro, Randy Ruther, Andy Lazarus. Lots of folks will be appearing. But if you pick the show you want to go to, 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock, there's an option in there to get the podcast for $10 extra. So now they'll know what show you're going to, and they'll account for you to be in the podcast. Boom.
That makes sense, guys.
Boom.
So basically, you can get the bundle if you buy it through the stand-up comedy.
Ticket. As opposed to the other way around, because then they don't know what show you're going to want to go to. So if you want to come see a stand-up show, and let's be honest, you'd have to be a real weird dirtball. I'm not saying there aren't weird ones out there, but to come all the way to New Orleans, see the 1,000th, and then be like, I'm going to go eat some jambalaya. But your podcast guys are about to do a comedy show. Yeah, not my thing. I only want to see Bill Walton impressions, and I heard Prater doesn't do it in his act. Throw it down. So yeah, get your tickets to a stand-up show, and there's a bundle option to come to the podcast. So the bundle's back, baby.
So go to comedy.house/tickets.
If you pulled that, I mean, it's your link. But yeah, it's Comedy House NOLA, Comedy House New Orleans. There's a ticket page. Scroll all the way down.
So this is going to be a great lead in for one of the weirder. I mean, we've had weird calls. I'm not saying this is top 10. It's a weird call. He's classic dirtball call. 310-359-8365. That's our hotline. I titled this call WTF. You'll hear it.
Yo, Joe and Andy, it's your boy Nick coming to you live from Alaska. We're back. This is a random question, but fuck it. I thought it's better to talk about this than baseball. You know what I mean? But so like that a couple episodes ago, the overrated, underrated states. That guy you guys were talking about. It's a pretty dope combo, pretty fun. But my question is what are 3 things that piss you off in general? Like that just grinds your gears. Like for me, like when guys wear fucking jeans with tennis shoes, like what the fuck are you doing? Or Travis Kelce, that dude just annoys the fuck out of me. And then the other part of it is what are 3 things that make you want to live more? I mean, for me, I think flirting with a MILF, that definitely makes me like, oh yeah, we're back. We can do life again. You know what I mean? Or like doing a Drake and drive at night, you know, bumping the Sticks God, this Jersey, the Champagne Poppy late at night on your way to get some puss. You know what I'm saying? It's a good time. But hopefully you play his call because I think it's pretty interesting. Andy Ruther, my guy. All right. Well, you know what? You guys stay safe. Smoke some weed, do whatever. And condoms are for Tony Romo because he can't. CBS is terrible with him. All right. Peace out, boys.
First of
Bro.
all, I love
Yo.
it. I like they did a line at the end.
Yeah.
First of all, Alaska, bro. Alaska. I know Andy Ruther is your guy, but your guy's guy, your best buddy's best buddy, is going to be in Alaska, all over the state. I'm going to some random city I can't remember the name of, and then I'm going to be in Anchorage, and I'm going to be in Wasilla. Yeah, so come see me in Alaska, dude. I like that he hit us with. First, he just went full Midwest dad. What name 3 things that grind your gears, and then things that made you want to live longer.
No, it made you want to live, like not
Just
kill
makes you
yourself.
want to live. Just like things that keep you from killing yourself.
Yeah.
Great. Such a broad thing. I don't know.
So we'll start with handicap spots. That grinds my gears.
Handicap spots grind your gears. Okay. Well, I want you to go 3 and 3 here. 3 and 3. Handicap spots grinds your gears.
The HOA situation is grinding my gears lately. I'm just going to do a callback. It's grinding my gears. And another thing that just, really grinds my gears is people who don't pick up their dog poop, man. Because I walk my dog, right, a few times a day, and I see it. Not cool, man. And if I see you doing it, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call you out. Now, 3 things that I want to live. The first one's easy. My daughter, she got to have a dad around.
I love that Andy Ruther's just going, he's clichéing us. Yeah.
Well, that's not cliche.
Okay, I know.
True.
Okay.
It's
Your
true.
daughter.
It's true.
Your daughter.
It's true,
Yeah.
though.
Mine's also going to be Andy Ruther's daughter.
It's I don't know what percentage of my day I'd probably think about her. Probably like everything's changed. Like it is crazy. And I know it's all cliche, 100%. But that is definitely top of my list. 3 things that make me want to live. I love me some football, man. Like, is that gonna crack? I mean, that's not in any order.
Right.
But something about football, man.
You love it.
I was actually thinking, like 2020 was obviously a very difficult year for me. Football season was like a great release. Like football is a great release. So I live for that. And pop a shot, man. I just fucking live for it.
I love it.
We'll say pop a shot. On a lighter note.
Okay. 3 things that grind my gears. When DirtBalls call and say that tennis shoes with jeans grind your gears. Well, what are we talking about here? What are you wearing with jeans? You're wearing Alaska just in work boots? By the way, not only do people say tennis shoes, that's sort of a catch-all for sneakers these days, right?
Yeah.
But I wear literal tennis shoes. Like my go-to shoe is the Stan Smith. Like, I mean, my combo, my life combo pairing, I've probably worn jeans with literal Stan Smith tennis shoes more than anything in the fucking world. My second thing that grinds my gears, this is definitely a cliche fucking modern thing, but like, dude, like the tipping, the electronic tipping situation, like there just needs to be a standard, dude. If it's coffee, it's a $1, $2, $3. If it's anything else, it's 15, 20, 25 or 18, 20, 22. This, you start at 20. I was at the coffee shop the other day. It was like 22, 25, 30. What are we doing here? I went to a concert the other night and I ordered 2 drinks and I ordered doubles and it was a concert. Andy, first of all, guess how much 2 drinks? 2 doubles at the Greek.
2 doubles?
2 doubles, double margarita, double Jameson on the rocks at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles. Pre-tip.
$42.
$82
$82
for 2 drinks.
$82.
And then she poured them right in front. I mean, she grabs 2 plastic cups. She fills them with ice. She goes 8 count of Jameson. Then she goes some tequila, some triple sec, some fucking thing. She didn't even shake it. She just gave it a stir, hands it to me. $82. Okay, whatever. That's dick and butt stuff. Like you're getting bent over and fucked there, but whatever. Then flips the thing around and it's 25, 30, 35. Lady, I'd have made it for myself. If you told me you'll take $16 off my tab if I make it for myself, I'll come back there and make it myself. I went custom $3, 85 bucks. Or I think I went custom $5, 87. I mean, the audacity.
Yeah, that's pretty egregious.
And also, here's another one. This goes for the United States and maybe the world in general. The left lane is the fast lane. The middle lane is the medium lane. The right lane is the slow lane. And by slow lane, I mean speed limit. Speed limit. People passing the speed limit. People. And I'm gonna fucking drive fast. Get the fuck out of the way. There's get the fuck out of the way. When I get on the freeway and the speed limit's 65 and I have 3 cars flying in like directly next to each other, like they're the Blue Angels doing 71. Why are we flying in formation here, guys? You're not the Mighty Ducks. Why is everybody in every lane going 71 miles? Get the fuck out of the way. Some of us are trying to go 85. Surfing.
I agree with that one. I agree.
Makes me want to live. Surfing makes me want to live. That's for sure. Nice surf. A post there. I mean, these are related, but like the post anything, the post surf meal, the post snowboarding day, beer on the slopes. When I go out there and I get active, and then after we get to kick our feet up, relax, have a country kitchen double cheeseburger after a surf, have a Miller Lite and a hot pretzel after a snowboard. Oh man, just the post-activity cool down event. So great. And then this is a counter to your people not cleaning up their dog shits. Just dogs in general, man. I love dogs.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Great fucking things.
No, I agree. And that is a good one because if you're having a shitty day, go pet a dog. It's like
my dog. I took my dog yesterday down to Brian's, and we were there for like 3 seconds, and one of his dogs just like attacked my dog, bite, the whole thing. The rest of the day, she's like limping around, and I'm just like, oh, my dog, a baby. I know you have an actual baby, but
no, I feel you.
And I would never call it anything a fur baby. I'd rather kill myself. But
a what?
You don't know that? That's what white women call their dogs now. Fur babies.
Fur babies?
Yeah.
Not a Furby, a fur baby.
No. Yeah. Ladies, stop doing this. When you say fur baby, it makes me picture you pushing your Shih Tzu out your vagina. I picture you giving birth to your Labradoodle.
So we have fur babies and furries?
Yeah.
By the way, apparently the furry phenomenon is a thing here. I've heard some things.
In Cincy?
Like my local school district. Your brother was not exaggerating. So Mikey,
this kid's pissing in litter boxes.
They've been having issues with vandalism in the bathrooms because the kids are putting stuff on like their cats and clawing at like the mirrors and like it's insane. Yeah, apparently the cattails and the cat ears, like wearing them. My brother made a great point though. Maybe my brother said he goes, this is, you know what this is? When we grew up and you were just a little different, you were goth.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're a furry.
Exactly. I'm different. I'm goth. It's a great South Park.
That is. So we have another call, a Colorado call.
Ooh.
I'm
about
glad.
Football? Football,
Yes.
Colorado. Okay.
I'm actually glad we have this call because I did watch the first half of that game the other day.
All right, boys, question for you. When does the distraction of everything going around at Colorado become too much for these 18-year-old athletes? Just last night, they're playing Stanford Friday night. They have everybody there, the DJ, and then they choke on it. I have no problem with what's going on there. I think it's great for college football. Awesome. Great. Kids love it. But when does it become too much of a distraction and they need to kind of ratchet it back and get back to what college football is? Stay dirty, boys.
So I actually had that game on, like, background noise kind of stuff. Turn it off. I'm exhausted. Those games are so late. That game actually did not start till like 10:20 Eastern time.
Yeah.
They're 29-0.
Yeah.
So I go to bed. All right. Pull out my phone when I wake up. See the headline. They lose in double overtime. That's a bad lot. They were already chalking it up on air. They were like, this will be Colorado's. And like before halftime, like, man, they win today. 5 wins already. They're bowl eligible after one more win. So I didn't watch the second.
First of all, that was John Smith. I could tell by his voice, right?
For sure.
I guess I'm gonna reverse. I'm gonna go backwards through his call. The last thing he said was, "When do you get back to being about like college football or whatever he said?" And I would argue this is college football now. Like I would argue that this is what college sports has become. I don't think there is going back. I think there's only teams that become. I think there's Colorado, and now where are you on the Colorado spectrum going forward? I think the days of college sports being college sports is over.
Yeah.
I don't see any major Power 5 program in any major sport having guys that are just like, I'm here for the love of the game and get a great education at the University of Alabama, where the math requirements are that what math is to get into the school. Like, I don't like the idea of it going back to, when do you get back to college sports?
Well, is that
what
that
ship sailed 20 years ago?
I don't know if that's what he meant.
Right.
I mean, look, here's the thing, though. These universities or whoever, people, college, you guys can blame the NIL. The NIL was created by the NCAA itself. Like by being such dicks for I don't know how many years. That was an inadvertent creation of the NCAA.
They had to do something because people were just going to keep breaking the rules in other ways and whatever. And it's like, what happened with the NCAA is, dude, you can't suspend every school for NCAA violations, or you don't have any bowl games. You don't have any March Madness teams that anybody cares about because they're all doing it. And it's just a matter of getting caught. And this is just being like, okay, well, if everybody's going to do it, we have to have a system in place so that people can do it.
Well, look, like that game. I mean, I got to put that one on Dion. You put that on him and the coaches. You blow a 29-point game. You just can't. You got to get your kids ready.
Sure, it's also college football.
Sure.
And it's not fucking Michigan, Ohio State. This is Pac-12 football. 29 points, of course, insane. Like, yeah, that of course that's on coaching. That's when you get into the situation of like, dude, you could have run out because you start running out the clock to just play in the second half, and you probably win the game. But that being said, this is like, when does it become a Colorado and the Dion thing is the college football version of like an industry disruptor. Like there's no, like the distraction is the action. A distraction from what? They're like, from your one win, nobody gives a shit. The last time anybody gave a shit about Colorado, the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders was their running back. This was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, Cordell Stewart to Michael Westbrook on a Hail Mary. Is that the last big Colorado play? Like, no one gives a fuck about Colorado football. The distraction, you can't spell distraction without action. Like, no one gives a shit. So when does it become a distraction from what? Colorado football being fucking something no one gives a shit about? Like, you could say that if Deion took over fucking Georgia, and you're like, when does this become bigger than what the program? Well, yeah, Georgia hasn't lost a fucking game, blah, 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 blah. Like, just Colorado. Even the loss is getting headlines.
It was the front page of ESPN.com.
Yeah.
When I woke up. I mean, everyone's watching.
It's Deion at Colorado is the college football version of Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett to the Celtics. Pandora's box. Now all we do is super teams. This is what Deion is going to be for college football programs. This is the Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Now, there's no one really quite on Deion's level. You know, you don't bring. I don't think Darrelle Revis is going to go coach fucking Pitt next year, and it's going to be like, "Welcome to Revis Island." Like, we're not talking about, but coaches are going to steal part of this model. Schools are going to steal this model, even if it's in terms of like the booster and the whatever. Like,
for sure. At the end of the day, they're getting eyeballs. They're getting recruits. They're making money. The truth is, the winning or the actual game on the field has almost become secondary.
But this is my point to like what John asked is like, let's say there's no Deion Sanders at Colorado. And let's say the Colorado Buffaloes get off to a hot start this year and they upset TCU and they win 4 games with whoever the fuck is their head coach. And then in game 7 of the year, they blow a 29-point lead to Stanford. Dude, nobody would be talking about it.
Yeah.
No one would they'd be like, oh, crazy little Pac-12 game. It'd be on the fucking bald guy on SportsCenter's like, worst beats. You'd be like, in the Colorado Stanford game, no one would be talking about it.
True. Give us a shout. 310-359-8365. It's our hotline. We're on social. Follow.
I'm at Joe Prano on all social media. Follow me on all the things. We've got Brad Garrett's Comedy Club at the end of the month, October 30th to November 5th. We've got Alaska. You're an Alaska DirtBall. Come to the show. And then we've got Comedy House New Orleans in December. Can't wait. That's the crown jewel in this football season touring that we're going to do. Get your tickets to that and just stay on my socials or stay on joeprano.com for shows. And one last thing. Hope I didn't miss it. We didn't talk a lot of baseball this show, Andy. We did not.
Well, there's one game.
There's one game. Not a lot to talk about. But good news. We already did a Dirty Slides. There's been 2 playoff Dirty Slides already. We just recorded one Saturday, and it just went up because I was busy this morning. Division series recap, ALCS, NLCS preview. Go give it a listen. And also, we're going to do some more. We'll probably do a couple. We'll probably do at least one during the ALCS and NLCSs. So slide in the DMs, slide into the DMs or our mentions with anything that you think we need to cover. So baseball fans, that's where you can get your baseball. It's like there's Andy that steps in for the Andy that doesn't want to talk baseball.
I'll talk it a little next episode.
Till the next episode.
All right, guys, that's our show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a great week. And as always, stay